I've had lots of fun playing Resident Evil 0 over some time now. It's not a perfect Resident Evil game, but most of what we love about the classic RE games is here. Plus, it's the only other game that appears as the definitive remake of itself. Hard to say this about RE0 since the original version was never released, but there was a playable demo that was released back in the day, so we can only wonder what the story was going to be like if it was released. Anyways, today I'd like to talk about the 5 things I grew to love about the RE0 game. So let's begin. Number 5. The submachine gun. This is a great weapon that becomes available after you completed the game and unlocked it from the Leech Hunter mode. After it's been unlocked, you'll find extra magazine clips around the mansion and the other locations throughout the game, but you also have the option of choosing the unlimited ammo cheat, which can also be unlocked in the Leech Hunter mode. Now, automatic weapons are always a lot of fun to use in games, but for a Resident Evil classic game, I think this particular submachine gun is the best one from the classic style series. It's too damn satisfying to take down enemies with it. I like going apeshit and swinging that machine gun around. I wish that it was included with the remake of RE1 since both games share the most similarities in terms of gameplay, graphics, and such. And there isn't even an automatic weapon in Resident Evil 1, the remake, so this is one asset I definitely would have welcomed with open arms. Or, since the original RE1 for PC did end up including its own exclusive automatic weapons, that being the Mini-Me, which is Chris's weapon, or Jill's automatic weapon known as the Ingram, then they could have gone with that, a remastered version of those. In the RE1 remake, I didn't have any problems with the enemies. They felt pretty well balanced, except for the Cerberus, but it wasn't a big deal. But with Resident Evil 0, it has some of the most annoying ass enemies, including the most annoying enemy in the classic style RE games. So the submachine gun will likely become your best friend, more over your actual friend in the game. Number 4, the Leech Hunter mode. This mode is always worth trying out because you can take it for what it is, that being a challenge to fight through hordes of enemies while picking up blue and green leeches. 50 each, which you can't even drop one after picking it up, making it even more challenging as it takes up your inventory space. Or, you can use this mode as a way to practice dodging certain enemies. To me, I enjoy playing this mode just to have fun blasting away all the enemies along the way. There are unlockables that will be used for your next playthrough in the story mode, but after unlocking them all, I don't even bother picking up any more leeches because it's just fun to replay this mode again and again, especially because of the submachine gun. But even though this mode is supposed to include all the enemies introduced in this game, for some reason they didn't include the Cerberus or giant frogs. Those only appeared once or twice in a very short appearance, so those 2 enemy types should have been included in about 3 separate rooms. Heck, I would have even said that the bosses should have made an appearance as well. Reason why is because the original RE trilogy included their own bosses in their own extra modes, such as with Resident Evil 1, the Sega Saturn version. There they included a Golden Tyrant and even a zombified Wesker. Resident Evil 2's Extreme Battle mode included Mr. X and another T-103 Tyrant that follows you. And in Resident Evil 3's Operation Mad Jackal, aka Mercenary mode, you run into 2 or 3 clones of Nemesis. I can't remember if it was 3, but it was 2 for sure. So they really should have included every single enemy in the story mode to the Leech Hunter mode here so that it's even more challenging. But now that I think about it, I kind of wish that this was more like Resident Evil 2's Extreme Battle mode so that it has 3 levels to go through. This would allow us to collect blue and green leeches from the other locations besides the Umbrella training facility. But even without these options, I still have a lot of fun playing through the Leech Hunter mode, and I'm sure I'll continue to find more ways to have fun with it. Number 3, dropping items anywhere. This is the first RE game to allow the player to drop items anywhere instead of just using the storage box. And even though it feels like a bad trade-off, I never really felt like it screwed me over. Maybe for the first timers of the game, right? But when you start replaying this game and remember how to solve every puzzle, it feels perfect. It no longer becomes an issue if it ever was. The Outbreak games did this as well, and I'm so glad that they did because it really does elevate the experience, especially when you have a partner or partners in the Outbreak games. Number 2, controlling 2 characters freely. Controlling 2 characters at once is a strong selling point to this game, and it's not the best since your AI partner can end up standing still or not even attempt to save you if their weapon that they're holding is empty, but he or she still has a loaded weapon in their inventory. However, you can open the inventory menu and switch between both characters or make your partner switch weapons. You can also switch without opening up the inventory menu, but it's not recommended during a fight because it leaves both characters motionless until that heartbeat effect is over, which is around 1 to 2 seconds. But again, for first timers this could get annoying, especially if you forget to make your partner hold a handgun instead of a strong weapon, and they might fire away at a leech on the floor, wasting precise rounds. I won't lie, it will take a while to get used to the controls since once again, the devs decided to move around the controls, so if you got the remastered collection that comes with both RE1 and 0, you're going to get confused regardless of which game you played first. But once you finally get used to the controls, you're going to have a lot of fun controlling both characters in the middle of a fight. And the perk that comes with this one partner here in RE0 is that you can control him without switching to that character. You can move your partner using the right joystick. If you aim, he or she will likely aim their weapon as well. And if they're already aiming, pressing X will make your partner pull the trigger. This makes for a lot of enjoyable moments taking down enemies, and it sucks that this is the only game to feature this experience. But that's why I always love jumping right into the story mode or even the Leech Hunter mode without picking up any leeches, because this game is just so much fun when you have that partner with you. This two-player experience would have been vastly greater though if we could have chosen a human partner. Every time people look back at this game, they always wish it included a two-player option. And it sucks that the developers didn't bother to include it when they released this remastered collection edition, because they actually bothered to create more costumes for Rebecca, and a new mode called Wesker mode which changed Billy's model to Wesker with a couple buffs added, and it gave Rebecca this new appearance as well. This mode is not my favorite, so if I could have chosen between this or that two-player option, I think everyone would have chosen the two-player option. Number 1. Wesker and Birkin cutscenes.
This is Delta Team. We have gained control of the train. Over.
Understood.
This does not make any sense. How was the T-virus leaked? And why did it contaminate both the lab and the mansion, as well as a train almost 3 miles away?
That's irrelevant. We must make sure no knowledge of this gets out. Destroy the train. Completely. How far away are you from the nearest branch line?
About 10 minutes to...
What happened?
Out of all the Resident Evil games that have come out over the years, I can't believe that this is the only game where the main antagonists discuss their dealings and what they'll be preparing for the near future. It's surprising to see two of the most important villains of the Resident Evil series interacting, because we're used to reading notes or files about these antagonists and we're just left picturing their interactions in our head. So when Resident Evil 0 brought us these cutscenes, they were a major surprise. The story may have felt out of place with James Marcus as the main antagonist and his weird control over leeches, but when we're suddenly shown a cutscene of both Wesker and Birkin, it's perfect. Makes you wish they were the main antagonists of this game and instead collaborated with Marcus to take down their intruders. If you think about it, you can actually pretend that the story presented in Resident Evil 0 never happened, and it won't affect the series whatsoever, mainly because we know it doesn't make any sense when you try piecing things together with RE1. Marcus doesn't get mentioned, heck, even Billy never gets mentioned by the Alpha team.
Who on earth are those people?
She's just a rookie, a member of STARS.
What about the male?
I'm unfamiliar with him.
Attention! This is Dr. Marcus.
But at least these cutscenes with Birkin and Wesker feel like it takes part in the true storyline.
It just doesn't make sense. Do you honestly believe this to be the real identity of that crazy young man? Impossible. But if somehow it is true, then Umbrella will be finished.
If the old conspiracy against Dr. Marcus is revealed, Mr. Spencer's career will be over. Not to mention ours, too.
I kinda wish that Marcus wasn't in the game and both Wesker and Birkin questioned exactly how the T-virus was leaked without anyone giving them the answer right away. It's intriguing to see these two discussing the T-virus and the state of things while walking alone in the underground Umbrella Lab, a location that we once visited. It's pretty much infested with lickers, zombies, and ivy creatures and more when we visited, so it's cool to see how it looks right now. And that's one thing that I also appreciate about the cutscenes. We not only get two familiar characters here, but we also see a hollow and abandoned looking Umbrella Lab. the one we come to visit in RE2, so I couldn't believe that my favorite antagonist of Resident Evil 2 was probably friends with Albert Wesker, and they were discussing their plans in this particular location. Man, thanks to the beautifully detailed pre-rendered backgrounds of RE2, I immediately recognized where they were. So their cutscenes were very likely to be the best part of Resident Evil 0.
So, the time has come at last.
What are you going to do?
I will simply say goodbye to Umbrella. The biological weapon utilizing the T-virus has almost been completed. Our only remaining task is to acquire combat data.
You can't be serious. I refuse to abandon my work. I have finished the research on the T-virus, but I need a little more time to complete the more powerful G-virus.
Do as you wish. I will follow my initial plan and lure the STARS members into the mansion. Their superior combat training should make them perfect test subjects.
Fine. In the meantime, something must be done about that madman. As I recall, URC is equipped with a self-destruct device in the basement. I'll find it, set it off, and annihilate the place to nothing more than a mass of rubble.
This game has an assortment of unique features to offer fans of the classic RE games, and even though it's not the best of the RE games, or even on my personal top 5 RE games, I know that I still have a lot of fun playing this game, thanks to this teammate experience, the Leech Hunter mode, the submachine gun, the item dropping, and those Wesker and Birkin cutscenes. I'm sure there are better choices for why this game is well worth trying out, especially for a classic RE fan, but these are just the things that I personally love about the game. Next time, we'll be taking a look at the 5 things I hate about Resident Evil 0. So with that said, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to give this video a chance to grow. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for their impeccable generosity. Your support means a lot to me, and you are part of the reason why I try to make the best content that I can. And if you like this content, check out the rest of my channel. You'll find more entertainment from separate franchises I like to cover, such as Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z, Celebrity Deathmatch, Men in Black, The Mask, Batman comics, The Terminator, TMNT, Dino Crises, Resident Evil, and more. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out my exclusive videos such as the Gantz content. And if you'd like to show your support, go to my Patreon and support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.